Hello everyone, I'm going to tell you about the inventory module of Fedina today. So we are going to go to administration and we have inventory here. And anyone with manage inventory privilege will be able to see all these links that you have here. So majorly the store officer in the institution should be given this inventory management privilege. So the first thing is we have to create the store category and the store type to be able to create a store. So the store category would be how you categorize the items in the store. For example, there may be consumable items, there may be classroom related items, books, computer hardware, and so on. So you just have to give the name of the store and the code of the store category. So this is the category of the store that we are creating. And then we have store type. So the type of the store, it means that how would you categorize the type of the store. For example, the classroom item store, stationery store, devices store, or employee welfare goods store. So in this way I have created the type of the store and I have given the name and the code. So this way we need to create the store type. Then we are going to create the actual store. Now you will see that when I'm creating the actual store, it is asking me for the type of the store and the category of the store. So that is why they need to be created beforehand before we actually create a store. So the type of the store can be classroom items, stationery, devices as per what we've created earlier, and similarly for the category. So I've created a store called pantry, and I've given some code, and I've selected the store type to be employees welfare goods and then store category to be consumable, and this prefix will be appearing in the invoices that we generate when we sell items from this pantry store. So any store that you can create sellable items in that store, and then you will be able to sell those items, and when you sell the items you're going to generate a prefix invoice, and for that invoice it is going to have a prefix. So for the first item that I sell, the invoice prefix will be PAN 001, for the second one PAN 002, and so on. So in this way I have created another store also, which is classroom inventory. The type of the store is classroom items and the category of the store is classroom related. Then I have created bookstore. So store type is stationery items and store category is books for students. So in this way I have created the stores. Now in the stores I need to put in items. So I'll go to item category first to create the category of the items. So here I've created item categories like beverages, canned items, or packed items. So in this way you can create the categories. So when you are adding the item in the store, and if it is a sellable item, it is going to ask you to categorize that item into one of these categories. So now the next step is to add items to the store. So I'll go to the store items, and here I'll go to this new, and for this store I'm going to add an item name. So let's say the item is dark chocolate. I can give some code here. I can mention the quantities. Let's say I have 100 of them, and the unit price 20 each, so it is 2000, which is the total price of these dark chocolates. And if any tax is levied when I bought these chocolates, I can mention that tax percentage here. So now the total price would be 2000 plus 2% of 2000. And the batch number is the lot number in which I've got these items, and later on I'll be able to search these details by using the batch number. So I'm just mentioning some batch number here, and whether this item is sellable or not. So do I want to sell dark chocolates from the pantry in my institution? If that is the case, I can check it here, and I need to categorize that item into the category that I've just created. So in this way I have created some items in the store which I can see like this. So these are the items, and this is the store, and these are the categories, and these are the quantity that are available, and the unit price of each item, and the tax. I can edit these or delete these from the store. Similarly for the classroom, I have chalks, I have dusters and markers, and these are the quantities that are available. So for chalks I have 900 quantity. So in this way I can add to each store that I've created. Then I need to mention the supplier details, because as a store officer or as a store manager I need to maintain the quantity of items in the store. So I need to enter the supplier details so I can raise a purchase order with the supplier later on. So I have to mention the type of the supplier. So for example, I have created some supplier like stationery supplier. I've given it some code. In the same way, I can create some supplier types here. And in each of these supplier types, I need to give the supplier details. So I'll go to this new. I've already added the supplier detail. Like for stationery supplier, I've added Mr. A and B, and I've given some contact number. I can mention the other details as well. So I can refer to this at any later stage. So this is about the supplier. Then any employee who want to request for an item from a store can raise an indent. So for that employee, I have to go to administration. I'll go to user, and let's say the employee is Casey. And for this employee, I can edit the privilege, and I need to assign inventory basics privilege to this employee so that this employee will be able to raise indents. So now I'm going to log in as this employee. So I'll use E22, which is the username, and the password E22123, and I'm going to go to administration and inventory, and you'll see I'm getting an option for indents. I'll also be able to view the store items. So as an employee, I can view what all items are there. So I can see for chalks, I have 100 quantity that is available in the store. Now let's say in a classroom, I'm the teacher, I'm an employee, and I want 100 chalks. So I'll be raising an indent for 100 chalks from the store. So I'll go to this indents, I'll click on new here, and the indent number will automatically appear. I need to select the store from which I want the item. I can mention the description here. And which item do I want? I can mention that. Available quantity will automatically appear, and the other details will automatically appear, which are non-editable. And then you can mention the required quantity. So let's say I want 100 chalks. So I can raise this indent, and this indent, whenever it is raised by an employee, it will go to the manager of the employee for approval. So I can see the manager of this employee is Anuradha. So I'm going to log in as that manager. So I remember the username and password. I'm going to log in as this manager, and I can either issue this request or I can reject this request. So I'm logging in as the manager now. And I'll be able to go to administration and inventory, and I can go to indents, and I can see the indents that are issued or pending. So I can see that I've given an option to either edit this indent request or delete it or accept it. And in accept, I can either issue it or reject it. So let's say I'm issuing this request to this employee. Now if I see the store item, you will see that for this store, I have 800 chalks that are available because 100 are issued to Casey, which is the employee who raised the indent. So this is how the employees will be able to raise indents, and the requests will be approved by their managers. Now as a store officer, I have to go to this purchase order, and I need to maintain the quantity of the items in the store. So now I have 800 chalks. Let's say I want to maintain the quantity, and I want to raise a purchase order for 100 more chalks. So I'm going to go to this new, and I'll be selecting the indent in case there is a related indent, meaning that if there is an employee who is raising an indent for 1000 chalks, but you only have 800 available, in that case you can raise a purchase order related to that indent. Otherwise, you can just not select this indent option here, and the purchase order number will automatically appear. I need to select the store, I need to select the supplier from which I want the chalks and the supplier name, and here if this reference is any person who is pointing out the insufficient amount of quantity in your store, so you can mention that reference here. It can be the name, it can be the phone number of that employee or the person who is mentioning that insufficient quantity, and then the item that I want and the quantity that I want. So I want 100 more chalks so that I can have 900 back in my store, and I can mention the discount or the tax for this purchase order. So this purchase order is again raised and it will be approved by the manager of this employee who's raising the purchase order. So let's say I've logged in as that employee. I'll be able to see this linked purchase order if I have manage inventory privilege. And I can either edit, delete, or issue or reject this purchase order. So let's say I'm issuing it. So once I'm issuing it, now let's assume that I've got the quantity of 200 chalks with me. So I'm going to generate the goods receipt note. So the supplier, let's say he's issuing me the 100 chalks that I requested for. So I'm going to generate the goods receipt note by going to new and selecting here the purchase order which was approved. This invoice number is what is given by the supplier to you. So the number on that invoice and the date as well. GRN date is when you actually got the item in your institution. Any other applicable charges, maybe the shipping charges or any additional charges, need to be mentioned here. And then you can save it. So once you do this, you will realize that when you go to store items, the quantity is maintained, which means that we are back to 900 quantity for the chalks. So this happens when the GRN is created for a particular approved purchased order. Then there is billing. Now billing will be used by someone who is taking care of sales in inventory. Meaning that if we are selling the items using inventory, we are going to use the billing module. So let us change the privilege for this KC so that this KC employee will be able to see the billing module. So that is inventory sales privilege. So when I enable inventory sales privilege and when I log in as this employee, so I'll be able to see the billing link here under inventory. So here I'll be able to see billing and I can create a new invoice, meaning that let's say there is a student or a parent or an employee who wants to take some item from the store, which is pantry. So I can issue that to, let's say, a student. It can be to a parent as well as to an employee, and the address will automatically, name and address will automatically appear as per his profile details. And here, what is the item that I want? Let's say I want dark chocolate, and I can mention the quantity here, and accordingly the total price will change. If there is any additional charges or discounts that are applicable particular to this student, I can mention them here and the total will change accordingly. And if this invoice, the amount is paid by hand by the student or the employee or the parent, I can mention that here by checking this. If I mark is paid to be checked, I'll not be able to edit this invoice later on. So now I can see the invoice and I can issue this invoice to the student or the parent or the employee who is taking the item from my store. So this is about how to generate the invoices. Then I can see the sales report. Sales report would mean I can see the item-wise report, day-wise or invoice report. Let's see what that means. For a particular store, for a particular item category, within a particular duration, I can see what all invoices I have generated, what all items I have sold, what is the quantity I have sold, and what is the available quantity of that item, and what is the income that I've got. So this is the item-wise report. Then we have the day-wise report. So for a particular paid or unpaid status of an invoice for a particular store within a particular duration, I can see the details like this. And then we have the invoice report. So here we'll be able to see what all invoices are generated. When I click on the invoice number, and you can see the prefix here for this invoice, which is as created by us while creating the store. So these are the details of the invoice, and I can get a print of it as well here. So this is the sales report that is accessible to the person who is given inventory, billing or sales inventory privilege. As an admin, I'll be able to see other report as well, which is related to GRN, purchase order and indents. So I'll go to inventory and I'll go to reports, and this is the link that I'll be able to see, which is reports, which is related to indents, purchase order and GRN. So I can see within a particular duration like this. So the indents that are raised by the status as well. Similarly for purchase order and goods receipt note. So this is fully about the inventory module. Now inventory module also gets recorded in financial transactions, which means when you see the financial reports here for a particular duration, you'll be able to see here the incomes and expenses that you did using inventory. So you have your inventory account. It means this is the sales, or sorry, this is the expense that you've done. It means these are through the approved purchase orders. And this is the sales account. It means that this is the income that you've got through billing. So these are also tracked in the finance report along with other particulars. So this is fully about the inventory module of FEDINA. Be tuned in for more videos.